Welcome to the Fox 17 Rock Interview, the one and only Doyle Dykes. I mean, every time listening you play makes me smile.
Oh, well, that song makes me smile. It's about my mama, Martha's Kitchen.
Yeah, that's right.
I wrote that.
Oh my gosh. You just sound so incredible. I appreciate you joining us. You're working on new albums. You've got a couple new albums coming out within this year or so.
I have a worship album that I'm doing, and also one I've been playing guitar 50 years, and my first solo in church. 50 years ago this year. I still remember. Lord help me. Here comes F.
There you go.
I remember saying that.
Wow.
But I've been playing 50 years, so I have. Grandpa Jones, when I was with him, he wrote a book called 50 Years Behind the Mic, and so this is kind of 50 years behind the guitar.
It's hard to believe, and you're still sounding and playing incredible as always.
Well, thanks,
and we were
brother.
talking about Rivera Amps, to where you've been with them a long time.
I have.
And so, what's the story? How did you get involved with this company of amplifiers?
Well, Chet Atkins, and he was. he called me over to his office one day.
Yeah.
He was walking down the steps. And in his office, and he says, Doyle, I have something I want to give you here. And he said, I want to give you one of my guitars. And he said, and you need a tube amp. Yeah. And he said, and Paul Rivera makes the best one out there. And I thought, Paul who? Paul Rivera, know? And so I was at a NAMM show, big trade show, about a year after that. And Wayne Charvel was just taking me around, introducing me to people, and we walked by the Rivera stand. I went, whoa, I want to meet this guy. And so Wayne Charvel, he tells Paul Rivera, get this guy to play for you. He knows Chet Atkins and all that. And of course, that gets you everywhere, And so I did, and we had a crowd, and Paul said, I want to send you an amp. And then a couple of years later, I started playing more acoustic guitar. Right. And I said, why can't we have an all tube? I love the feel of the tubes and the warmth of the tube sound. But there aren't any acoustic amps out there that are tubes.
There's really not that do the acoustic, and particularly for your playing style, unlike many of us, they go between acoustic and electric. And
now there is.
Now there is. And you helped launch that with the original, working with Rivera on the Sedona. Yeah,
and I brought the very first one ever, the very first one. Yeah, I brought that out of my studio. That doesn't go out of the house anymore. And my dad also had one, and I use his on the road all the time.
Well, as you compared it, when we were talking off camera earlier, they're like the BMW of amplifiers.
They are, really.
And so well made, and sounds so great. And this is actually the Sedona Lite.
Yes.
And so it's the 25-watt all tube. It's got the 10-inch speaker and has the tweeter also, which you were a part of to get that right sound with the tweeter.
I found the tweeter. I was playing down in a club down in San Diego years ago. And I said, what kind of tweeters that you have in the system? Because a sound company brought this new system in. And they told me it's by Electro-Voice. And so I told Paul about it, Paul Rivera. And so he found the tweeter, and that's what became the tweeter in the Sedona. And Electro-Voice quit making it. And so Paul got the license, bought the license to make these again. So now
it sounded so incredible, and you and I were talking earlier, to where you usually go between an acoustic guitar and your telly. And I did the same thing, testing it out at home, and I was amazed, the great sound you could get, with being able to, change out the different filters and everything else on it. The sounds are great, and to where you can go balanced or unbalanced, and which a lot of amps can't.
Yes, that's true.
And I just thought it sounded great. It's good for studio or for gigging.
It is.
And then we also have over here their Venus Do amp, which is a 25-watt also all tube, and it has the 12-inch speaker. And I had a lot of fun driving this one as well, putting a few guitars through it. It's a little heavier, but I'm telling you what, it sounds so great.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
And I like the way it's got the split here as well. Kind of the vintage look to it.
Yeah, it is.
And what great amplifiers. And
yeah, Paul makes the best. And the one thing about this particular amp here, we were talking about the tweeter. This also has a switch that you can turn this off, so it'll sound more like the Venus. They're both the same 25 watts.
Exactly. Exactly. And very portable, and built to last, lifetime warranty. And I know locally they work with Corner Music, and you can find them online at Sweetwater and different places. But the Rivera amps are just wow.
Oh, they're incredible.
These really impressed me.
I've used them all over the world. I've played in some of the biggest venues ever. Every time I'm on the Opry, I'll have my Sedona.
That's incredible.
The granddaddy.
Yeah, exactly. So. And you'll be back on the road with your new albums coming out soon, right?
Absolutely. And I had to get my grandkids on it. I had all these things. So we're still mixing this. In fact, in the studio tonight. And so, but I'm excited about it, and to be able to have the family.
Oh,
I
yeah.
even have my some old footage, or whatever you call tapes, of me when I was 14, and I went back at Eric Johnson has a studio, so I went
Yeah.
back and twinned with myself and
Wow.
played harmony with it. And so,
And so the next time you come on with me, though, we're going to be able to talk about your signature Doyle Dykes guitar possibly coming out again, huh?
yeah, absolutely, with Godin. Yeah, it's a new company I've been working with. They're up in Canada. This actually was put together in their New Hampshire plant.
Sounds incredible. And I think we've got a
Yeah.
shot down below also of one of your other
Yeah.
guitars that you use with them, and your 12-string. And I played that 12-string a little, and wow, I love that.
Oh yeah, the 12-string sounds big. You don't have to do a whole lot on it, but you know, when you're playing Beatles, I'll even play.
Yeah.
I play that on the 12-string.
That's amazing.
It just, whoa,
well,
it's
you'll
great.
have to come back on, you know, and we'll talk about your signature model guitar then next time.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Be sure and
Thank
check out these Rivera amplifiers. Like I said, you know, if you're in the market for a tube amplifier that will do, you know, multiple things, not only electric guitar but also acoustic guitar, the Sedona is just amazing. I
And
think
they are the nicest folks in the whole world. let
They
me tell you.
really
They're
are. Paul and the whole
wonderful,
team.
like
Paul
family.
Jr. is
They
like,
really are.
good stuff. Well, be sure and check them out, and please visit my friends. See Doyle Dykes on tour at your website. They can find out where you're playing
Yeah.
and all your new albums.
That's where I find out everything. Where am I going this week?
You're always on the road. Be sure to see Doyle and buy his new music. Thank you for watching The Rockin' Review.